Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detailing Talk Europe first episode with Raphaël from Automaniger, our first guest. But before we start completely, the idea was to introduce Patrick and me ourselves, then later our guest Raphaël, and also talk a little bit behind the idea. So the idea of this Detailing Talk Europe is what Patrick and me had was talking about the detailing industry in each country in Europe. So the idea is to hear what is different, what is the same, what we can learn from each other. And yeah, especially at this time, of course, how is the different situation about this? But we don't want to go too deep in the Corona thing. I hope so. I hope we can talk a lot about how the life is at the normal situation in the detailing scene. So yeah, shortly, my person, I'm from Colorlock. I'm the CEO and the owner from the company Lederzentrum, who produce the Colorlock products. So we are specialized in leather care products. You will find every information on colorlock.com or lederzentrum.de, or for all French people, this is colorlock.fr and so forward. And yeah, so thank you, Patrick, having to share this idea with me, and that we find a point to start now. I'm really looking forward. And yeah, please introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Patrick. I'm CEO of the Rack Company. We are based in the Netherlands. We provide Rack Company products throughout Europe. We closely work with the Rack Company UK, the Rack Company in the US. And from here, we try our best. And I can tell you that works. To provide everybody with Rack Company stuff within Europe. But that's not only Rack Company. We provide them with PNS, Optimum Polymer Technologies. We have Volvos in the lineup. So we have some interesting brands that we are responsible for. And we take that responsibility very serious. So that's who I am. We've been in the business, at least running this business, for 10 years this year. So we have an anniversary. And but we've been in the detailing industry for more than, I think, 20 years already. And this is how we started as a detailer. And from detailing, we got into contact with trade and then trading detailing products. So that is in a nutshell our story. That's what we do. So, and we came up with this idea for the podcast, and I think it is a good idea to have people from Europe telling their story and how they have their life in the detailing industry in Europe. And I think we can proceed with the first guest. Very proud to have him on the show. So maybe Lars, you can introduce him.
Yeah, Raphaël is I think it's easier when you tell a little bit where you are, what are you doing?
Yes, of course.
Why you're selling detailing stuff, and what is your story?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Raphaël, and I'm the CEO and owner of ManiacAuto, which is the leading detailing website supplying detailing products in France. We've been around for 10 years as well, quite a long time now. And we provide over 60 different brands and around 2,000 different products of detailing in France.
Okay, and who's your customer?
Everyone that enjoys detailing. So basically, we have customers that are end customer, that do detailing for themselves. We have professional users as well, professional detailers that would come to us to get their products. So a little bit everyone.
Okay. But you're not only supplying products, you're doing trainings as well, right?
Yes, that's correct. We are also giving some trainings at our place. It's mainly some introduction trainings to show the basis of detailing in just one day. And we've been doing this for quite a long time now, and it is very successful as well.
Awesome.
It's only short sessions with 5 people maximum and 2 trainers. And we don't want to raise the number of people attending because we really want to make sure that you have the full support you need during this training. And we are basically working on a car during a full day.
Okay. And if people, sorry, Lars.
No,
If people are interested in the training, can you tell them, especially this is France that we speak about, of course. So
Yes.
if we have French listeners, and I know a lot of them, they speak English. They don't dare to, but I know they watch the English channels. So if they are looking and they want to participate in one of your trainings, how can they do that?
So they can basically subscribe, or take a ticket for a training on ManiacAuto website. It's quite easy to find. What is not easy is finding a session that is still available. We are full for the next 6 months, basically. So
Okay.
if you want to do this training, it will be, I think, in October now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I
No
guess
more
it's
sunny
a
training.
situation now. It's you can't do training anyhow, so you have to propose
Yes.
it every training. Yeah?
Of
It's
course.
the same, the same by us. So, but before we go deeper to the France market, please tell us. ManiacAuto is now 10 years old. Who is the founder? Are you the founder? How is this story starting? Why
Mhm.
selling these products? Are you been a detailer shop before, or what is
Sure.
the story
So
behind?
I'm not the founder. I came on board 4 years ago now, a little bit more than 4 years ago, and I took over ManiacAuto. Basically, 10 years ago, detailing in France was really small. What you gotta keep in mind is France is a very new market for detailing. Detailing came in Europe through the UK, through Northern Europe, through the Netherlands or Germany, but we're really not as advanced in France as you are in Northern Europe, I must say. So basically 10 years ago for detailing, when you wanted to buy some detailing products in France, you would buy on a British website or directly in the US. So you would team up with some other detailers to buy jointly something that you would split up once it arrives in France, right?
Yeah.
So basically, that's how ManiacAuto was created. It was basically to propose some detailing products in France that were not available or hardly available in France at that time. So this is how it was created. And well, I think we grew as detailing group, right? We, as new products, new brands emerged, well, we proposed them to the French customers, and that's how we developed ourselves.
That is awesome, because you guys probably you saw the gap in the market that was there, so you fulfilled that. But you told me because it was funny. We've been doing business now for quite some time, and the first time we met was in November, actually, like in person, and that was on the
Yes.
other side of the ocean.
Mm-mm.
So that was in Las Vegas, and there you told me, and I think that's an interesting way of explaining business. You don't talk about no. Let's say that different. You don't see competition our competitors. You look them at them in a different way, and I think we are on the same level. Um, your competitor can also be your colleague or become sort of a partner to promote and lift a certain brand or an idea, or like you are doing the detailing industry. Can you tell something about your experience with the other web shops that we were
Yes.
talking about at that time?
Well, I totally, yeah, of course, I totally agree with this. Basically, detailing is a niche market and it's growing super fast. What we need to do is to educate the market, is to tell people how to properly use the products, what are the right techniques, the right detailing techniques, right? And if we're doing this alone, on our own, we won't do as good a job as we can do when we are 2 or 3 to do the same job, right? So I am deeply convinced that every time a new customer arrives at my competitor, it will, in the end, fulfill my business as well, right? So I'm really convinced about that. Plus, you have some importers for different brands of detailing for each country. So I will be a client of my competitors for certain brands, and the other way around, they will be my clients as well for other brands.
True.
So yeah, I think it's important to build a market, and it's hard to build it alone. And you see some competitors that are really like-minded, most of them actually, and some that tries to build their own thing on their site. And in the end, what you can see is that those that want to how could I say, those that want to collaborate are doing much better in the end.
I agree, because the more noise you can create about a certain subject,
Yes.
the more people will listen. That's the
Of
idea,
course.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. That is normally the correct human way. No? So this
But
is
you
how
have the same mindset, Lars, right?
I have, yeah, of course. No? So competitors are good. They fight for the same picture, and they have different ways. No? But in the end, more people are noticed that leather and plastic repair is possible to do. So everybody who is showing up what's going on, or what you can do is helpful, and that I think that is the same about yeah, we're always talking about niches. No? I think so. That is one main thing. So we 3 guys are working always in a niche, and a niche has to show what is possible for the customer to do. No? About the detailing market in Germany, because you say, Raphael, the detailing scene or the industry in Germany is maybe bigger than in France. I have a different feeling about this. So I think that Germany is really, really on the start line now.
Okay.
This word detailing is still not for every guy who do cleaning or care a car use this word. So we use a lot of, we have Autopflege oder Fahrzeugaufbereitung. So we have different words. We don't use so much detailing. It comes more and more popular. I noticed also, and I'm happy about this, as the Automechaniker also now want to do in the whole 12 down a detailing area, and they start to talk to very popular influencers in Germany. The guys who testing detailing products, that they talk to them and say, okay, please come on stage, do a little bit, talk about it, show a little bit what is important, what is not important, and they will call it also detailing. So we still really on the beginning. I mean, we have the decon also. It's a little bit like Waxstock, but with more education character. But that was the first time last year, this show. So it's really, everything is on the beginning. I mean, the US, they found this business. No? They created. So theirs is very big. When you will find people in a normal supermarket, they know what is detailing. But and then it comes, of course, I think about the relationship with UK and the language it comes to UK. And then for me, is Poland also a big country? But we will have another session with a guy from Poland. And So I think the biggest market is UK, from my point of view. From my point, then it is Poland, and then France and Norway is more or less on the same level. Of course, France has more potential about the numbers of people who live there. No?
Yes.
And yeah, Spain is less, Italy is less, and yeah. But yeah, when is
Spain, I have to correct that. Spain is really gaining up when it comes to detailers. I have seen
okay?
since like last year, September, I think, we've been more and more involved in Spain, and I was pleasantly surprised about the level of skills that they have when it comes down to detailing. And I can still remember that even Portugal have some pretty good detailers. At the time, like maybe like 6-7 years ago, they had a detailing level and a skill level that was top notch, but they didn't ask for the price. They had a very cheap detail, but they took apart the entire car to detail it, you know? So if you would do that in the Netherlands or in France, you had to pay up to maybe between 3,000 or 5,000 euros to have it detailed like that. And they did it for a couple of hundred in Portugal. That has been changing now, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But the detailing industry in Spain is growing as well. Like you say, Raphael, the detailing industry in general is growing.
Yes,
The problem that you have in Germany, Lars, is the same problem that we have here in the Netherlands. The problem is that you were referring to autopflege. Autopflege is one word that captures it all.
Yes.
So if you can hold a polishing machine and you know to find the wall plug, you're already an autopflege.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, but you can also be like the expert who knows it all, like Div Du. You know, he's one of the experts. He's one
Yes.
of the well-known guys in Germany. And there is a new group of people, a new group of detailers, really putting their influence on the German market. And I think that's good. They refer more to detailing, which you are referring to. So you get the separation. Detailing has been there, but not for the public. For the people
Not for
who
the public,
know
yeah.
the market.
But this is really the competition. What the real detailer in Germany have now to show the customers or to show the world what is the difference between a car washing, Autopflege, and a detailer. What is the difference? And that they can live and earn enough money that they really can do detailing. Yeah? How is this in France? Do you have also this two different kind of levels? I guess yes, but is there an understanding for the French people to notice what is the difference between car washing and detailing, or how is this situation?
What is quite interesting is as it is really niche in France, the people that are involved in detailing are quite advanced, you know? That's always what you find in niche markets is the early adopters are always the most advanced, you know? So basically, if you compare to what you can see in the UK, for instance, an average end consumer, for the average end consumer, I think in France it would be much more advanced than in the UK. They don't just buy a shampoo and a quick detailer. They will go much further than this. And as we are going to grow the market in France, we will have the people that will only wash their car on Sundays. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that as we only have the head of the market right now, we have advanced consumer, and we see a lot of end consumer, not professional users, that are applying ceramic coatings, for instance, that are buying some polisher machines, a lot. So that's quite interesting to see, and the more we advance, in the years, the more we see that our average basket is decreasing from a ManiacAuto point of view, and the products are becoming more and more mainstreams. So basically, it means that we are on the good way. We are on the good way to develop this market and to have some normal detailing users or car care users, if you prefer,
Mm.
where it's a little bit of a mix, you know. When you talk about detailing in the US, not everybody has a polishing machine, right? But everybody washes their car on Sundays,
True.
Yeah.
right? And they like, even if you look at SEMA, right, they don't really care to see where the limits stops between detailing and car care, right? It's not even relevant for them to have this discussion, which seems to be so crucial in Europe, right?
Yeah, that's true.
In France, you know, if you look on Facebook or social networks, you'll always see some people saying, "Oh, this is not detailing. This is just car valeting. This is car care. This is," and you know, trying to put a word on it. And I think this is because we are still very niche on detailing, and as we're going to expand, we won't care at all about this difference.
True, because people will notice the difference eventually.
Sure.
You know, so now everybody is trying to cover their ground, you know, to
Yes.
make themselves more important than they actually need to be. Because in the end, the customer will see the difference in the approach, the knowledge. And that's something that you have to, and I'm not quite sure how you guys think about this. A detailer has to be careful with the knowledge towards the customer as well, because the more you tell them, the more you want to show how experienced you are, the more questions you will get in return. And when they pick up the car, they have many questions for you. And that can be a downfall as well, if you know what I mean. So you can create your own trap this way if you're not careful, you know. So sometimes and I say this like flat out, it is like the dick measuring contest, you know. So if you don't have this polisher, you're not a detailer. If you don't have this, like if you don't work with color lock, you're not a professional. It's not like that.
Which is true, right?
What is true, of course.
I know we have people in favor for color lock at this meeting, you know. So, no, but you know what I mean, right? So it is not about a specific brand. I think a good detailer, but that's my opinion. Of course, I want them to use Rack Company, Optimum, Color Lock, and everything that you sell as well, Raphael. But the thing is that a good detailer is looking for the best product that works for him or her, because that's something that we see more and more. I'm not quite sure how that is in France, but we see more female detailers, which I think is also a good sign that the detailing industry is getting wider and wider in attention.
True.
Absolutely.
We see a little more women in detailing, but it's still very marginal, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which is a pity.
I mean, that is now you're talking also a little bit about professional or not professional, or you know, who is really on the point when we talk about professional. So when you go deep inside of the knowledge and you are always open to educate yourself and learn more and take always a learn curve, then you are a professional, and then you can be also a detailer. That is. You know what I mean? So, and it is not, you are not a detailer when you take this product, or also by the leather repair. When you are a good leather repair, so for example, my guy who does a training here in the workshop, Burim, he can do an awesome repair with every product, not just with our product, you know, because he knows how to mix and match a color. He knows how it has to feel, how many heats he needs, how much dollar, not dollar, and of course he's used to it, to use our products. So with our products goes faster, quicker, and he knows before what kind of products he needs. But when you give him a different system, of course it has to be a good system. Yeah. There's also things on the market what is just good, you know. So he needs that is I mean that is always in the end, when you take rubbish you will get rubbish, no? So we say in Germany, when you buy something cheap you pay double. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So of course, but what I want to say, so you your interests have to be there, your knowledge have to build up, you have to be open to learn every day again and then you will find a way to come a professional and in the end a detailer. Yeah. So
Yes.
Raphael, what is about the business with dealerships? Is this the France dealership, are they interested to that the car? Uh, I mean, new cars. Is it a business that they say, okay, we want to prepare the cars a bit nicer, they can come from the factory, or is it no interesting in what it's about? All the cars, the lease cars who come 3 years later back. Is a business that they?
So I think for new cars, you have two different markets. You have the dealerships that ask detailers to make some protection, mainly ceramic. And then you have the owners of the car, which know about detailing, and they buy a car and go straight to a detailer to have it protected.
Okay.
And so you see both markets. It's still emerging, to be honest. You don't have a lot of dealerships that offer this kind of quartz ceramic protection.
But is that something that you see changing as well? That dealerships get more and more interested because everywhere where there is money to be made, dealers get involved, So, and if they can take
Slowly.
their share, they're willing to.
I think it changes slowly. The problem you have when you're a dealer, when you have a car dealership, is that it's hard to explain to someone that a new car is not perfect. See what I mean? And honestly, you go in a car dealership.
Raphael, this is the main thing in Germany.
Yeah, of course,
A
obviously everywhere,
German
right?
man say, why protecting? It's a brand new car. Do you think Mercedes, BMW, or Audi don't know what they have to do?
Yeah,
I guess it is perfect. Or you will you will sell me a used car, or what are you telling me? that is really what that is a hard thing. What is, I mean, in the US, the people buy a car and they change everything. That is the first thing what they want to do. No, don't have a normal car.
and it's not only about protection, right? If you go in a car dealership with some lamps, you'll find some crazy swirls all over the body shop, right? So all of the paints. So basically, it's hard when you're a car dealership to explain to your customer that the new car that they're buying is not perfect, right? And they should pay like 2,000 more to get it
fixed
without swirls, without swirls and protect it. So that's a problem.
Yeah, that's the same here. I don't know, how is it in Netherlands? Is it the same situation or?
Yes, 100% in the beginning, because the RAC company, as we run it, is a daughter company of Optimum Car Care, and another daughter company that we have is OptiCoat, so coding related. And when we still had the detailing area in our building, we in the beginning there were a lot of Teslas, and that was one of the problems. We benefit from the Tesla story with coatings, and why? Because they were released in the US, and people found out very soon that their paint was very bad. So people were looking for recovery of the paint and protecting it. So there were a couple of coatings, and one of them was ours. So when Tesla came to Europe, people start looking on the forums, and they already know, okay, I'm buying a problem and I need to fix it. So where do we fix this problem? So we had people coming throughout Europe, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, coming to the Netherlands to have their car coated, which was awesome, of course. But the idea is that we had one car that we put on the Tesla forum, and that car kicked us out the Tesla forum immediately, because what they do, and we all know about the fillers in some of the products. If you have a car and you polish it with fillers, it looks nice. So the guy picked up his car on Friday. He said, I want to drive it for the weekend and I'll bring it to you on Monday so that you can put coating on the car. And we were like, okay, that's fine. I understand that you want to drive the car. Fine. He brought it in on Monday and he went out for holiday. We stripped the car with everything that we can strip it with, the de-iron, the power clean stuff, and all the stuff that we need before we start polishing. And the car looked terrible. So after 3 hours, we sent him some pictures, and the guy was very, how do you say, simple about this. He was like, yeah, okay, but this is why the car is in your place and nowhere else, right? So fix this. And I think, okay, that's fine. So we posted these pictures of the car on the Tesla forum, but they were not happy. They were totally not happy. Exactly what you guys are saying. It's very hard to sell a car, tell them that they have to pay between 1,500, 2,000 extra to have the problem fixed, because everybody's thinking, and that's the problem for a lot of detailers, if a customer calls, and I think a lot of detailers that listen to this podcast, they know this story. Customer calls, they tell you they have a brand new car, or that they will pick it up in a month or two, and they want to make an appointment, and they are talking about a brand new car. If you are a detailer, you want to see the car prior before you accept the job, because you have no idea what you will be expecting. The customer always will tell you it's a brand new car. Like you were referring to, Lars. There can't be anything wrong with the car. It's brand new.
Yeah.
Until the car runs into the workshop, you put on the lights and you show your customer what they've bought. Then they are surprised. So how they ask you, how is this even possible? And then I tell them, this is why there is a detailing industry. So it's not something that it is, we need to fix the problems, so otherwise we would be out of jobs. That's the idea.
That's the deal with the car industry.
So we have to be thankful to the car industry that they keep us alive.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay, so that is more or less the same situation across Europe, also in France, and everybody knows we have a bad situation about Corona at the moment. But before we talk about this situation, how it works in France, we want to speak about with you about your detailing show in Tours. What was the last, for my knowing, the last event before the COVID-19 comes over the European, over Europe, and it was, I'm unfortunately, I don't have time. I was in the US, I think so at this moment. So, but stuff, Sylvie and Bodo was there, and what they told me and what I saw in picture was a really awesome show. A lot of interest, a lot of people, and I have to say, big respect to settle up at the first time you did the show.
Yeah.
You have so many exhibitors there, so many visitors there. So you did something right, for sure.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Yeah, that is. It's hard to when you do a show the first time. I mean, I don't have to tell you because you did it, but to get so many exhibitors in the first time, so that shows me there's a big interest in France, this show. And Patrick, you've been personally there, so you had the real feeling, and you told me also after the show it was crazy busy. Yeah. So
especially because like you were saying, and I think Raphael can talk about that way better than I can. We had to see what will come, so it wasn't an open book, a blank canvas, so we didn't know what to expect, and Raphael forced everybody into coming. So, and he's very convincing, so that helped. So that's one of your question answered. No. No, but the thing is that if somebody is organizing like he did, or probably he didn't do it by himself. He had a group of people, because if you see how professional this setup was, that was awesome. And especially, let me say this: you've been to many shows, Lars. Raphael himself have been to many shows. I've been to many shows. This didn't look like a first timer. you know. So, and I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
This normally people achieve this after 5, 7, maybe 10 years. So if this was the first year, I'm already looking forward to next year, or maybe you do it like every other year. I'm not quite sure what you think about
Yeah,
it.
this is
Spoke
even
about
a
this.
big question at this moment now. So we want to
I
know
think,
when is the
yeah,
next time?
no. I hope, no. Let's be positive, people, please. You know, so maybe this year now, but maybe next year or the year after. But I'm really looking forward what Raphael has to tell about this
Sure.
and how we came up with the idea.
Well, first, thank you very much for the compliments. And yes, it was the first time, and it was the first time I was organizing an event like this. You know, me and my partners, we had absolutely no experience in organizing an exhibition, but we worked with an agency that is very experienced in this field, that has organized many shows like this or even bigger, and they were running all the logistics, around it, which was really key in the success of the exhibition. So yeah, I think this is why it looked so professional, when when you arrived. And then yeah, I think we convinced a lot of brands to come and exhibit in this first time exhibition. And honestly, I was surprised so many came up. When we had this idea, I think now 1 year or 1.5 years ago, I never dreamt of having so many people, so many brands coming in.
How many
And
brands was there? Do you know how many exhibitors?
I think it was something around 50 different brands,
Okay,
50
awesome.
different exhibitors.
Just awesome.
So yeah, really, really great. And we had over 2,000 visitors, which was quite unexpected as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
1 year back, it's hard to say that you're gonna build something like this. So yeah, we were really happy with the show, and really proud as well. For next time, well, it's hard to say right now. With this whole situation, we will have obviously a next edition, and the objective is to do this on a yearly basis. The only thing is next year we still don't know when we will be able to do it. So I don't want to say it will take place next March for sure. It's not possible to say
Too
this.
risky at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And we were lucky in a way that we could do this show just before every exhibition was cancelled.
Yeah.
And lucky that everything went well during this exhibition as well.
Yeah.
And was it
Sorry.
international, or the 2,000 visitor? It was, I guess, mostly French, but was people coming from I mean, Tours is really in the middle of France. No?
Yes,
So
it is.
every border is far away. But
most of the visitors came from France,
yeah.
but some came from Belgium, some came from Switzerland, some came from overseas as well, flew for the exhibition. So we have some examples of people coming in from outside of France, but like probably over 95% of the people were coming from France.
Okay, and why you pick this this location or this town, Tours, or not? This outside of France, everybody thinking this Paris and countryside.
Yeah, I know. Well, as you mentioned, Tours is a really central location in France. So
Okay.
basically, within 4 hours drive, you can go not everywhere in France, but to a lot of places in France. And this made it, and really, we had people coming in from everywhere in France. We have a lot of people that drove 6, 7, 8 hours to come to this show, right? They've been waiting for this for so long that they wouldn't want to miss it. And so this is the main reason. Basically, if you are in Paris, if you do this show in Paris, it will be much more difficult for people coming from the south to drive in. In Tours, it starts to be a little bit easier. So that was one of the reasons. The other reason is there is a big automotive culture in Tours. You already have some car shows happening in Tours. And we knew that we would meet, and that's what we found out. We would have like some good partners in Tours to build this this exhibition. So that's the reason. And yeah, we've been trying, a few towns, a few exhibition halls, and this seems to be one of the most interesting to pick.
Okay. So so we're looking forward for the next show, and nice to hear that the plan is to do this yearly. So every year, so that is I think fine. But shows are all 2 years is also sometimes it feels too long. No? So
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So for example, we have this awesome show also in France, Le Mans Classic. No?
Yes.
What they cancelled now. Yesterday we get the letter. What is very, very sad, because it's an awesome, nice, beautiful classic car show on the racetrack in Le Mans. And this is also every 2 years, and it is. I know it's a very big event, so that I think that is the reason why they do it all 2 years. But to wait always 2 years is very hard for people who like this kind of show. So good to hear that you will do this every year. So Raphaël, we are also interested in how the detailing market is in France. So what I mean, what kind of businesses is this? Is it a one-man show mostly, or and are the people
you're for professional detailers, right?
Yeah, professional detailers.
Yeah.
And is it are they connected to a brand? So are they certified by G-Technik, Swissrex, or whatever, or are they more free of everything and use what they want to use? Or how is the situation in France? How does it work on the professional side? Yeah.
You find a little bit of everything. Well, mainly it's one-man shows. You don't have a lot of detailing centers where a lot of people work. You have some, but really not many. And what we see is mainly, one people company doing detailing. Then about the networks, the brand networks, yes, you have all the main brands that are represented by detailers in France. So you'd have Gion, you'd have Carpro, G-Technik, all of them basically. And you'd have like some certifications, but you also have some detailers that do not work with certifications, or would have like one certification and work with a lot of different products. So you see a little bit of everything. I'm not sure exactly how it works in other countries, but probably the same.
Okay, and do you have organization on top, like the IDA, or is the IDA active in France?
Yes, it is. Actually, if it's I think it's one of the main markets in Europe, outside of the UK, obviously. But yes, the IDA is active in France.
Okay, and do we have also an own association, or the
No.
France association? No. So
There is.
I asked this because we have in Germany the Verband Deutscher Fahrzeugaufbereiter, I think so. Also, it's like it's the association of the German car care and clean. It's difficult to translate, but we have IDA also a little bit in Germany, but we have also this old, it's over, I think 25 years old organization where all the car people inside, and I know they have also a bit contact to the IDA, And but yeah, so so we have both in Germany.
Yeah.
And what is even harder for the IDA, I think so. So when nothing is similar in a country, I mean, then this organization is good, works well, and when nothing is there, it's also easy to get entrance. But how, yeah, enforce?
No,
But
I
is
don't
that
know.
something, sorry, is that something that a German detailer needs to comply with, or is he free to be part of an organization
No,
like you have?
he's free. No, he don't have to. So it's also not a detailing and car washing is nothing. It's not a business what you can learn. So like a carpenter or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
It is still something on top. So a lot of people who do detailing in Germany, they come from the mechanic side. So they are car mechanic or something like this, and or just enthusiasts. They do completely different things before, and they just like cars. But a lot of professional car cleaners or valeters or detailers are coming from the mechanic side, yeah. And this is not possible to do this like a real job. You know what I mean? So with a 3-year education period
I
or
see.
something like this. So the association, the German Association of Car Care Cleaning, or they try to do this, yeah, to certify up this, that it comes to a real job,
Education.
yeah, education to a real job. But this is a long way, and yeah. So you don't have to, but yeah, when you are, I mean, there's every person is different. Some people like a club, tend to be a part of a tennis or soccer club, and somebody don't like this kind of, and they invest more energy or they invest less energy, and that is the same with this German car care association. So and that's the same with the IDA, no? And yeah, it's anyhow for my point of this, when you look on association, it's always when you join in, I think you have to know by yourself, when I do this, I have to give more than I get. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is just
Makes sense.
when you have members who are open to give more than they hope to get. Yeah. So you need people, they want to share his knowledge. You need people who want to fight for this business and when you find members like this, then association works. And if not, it comes very hard. And this is I mean, this is one thing what is in the American DNA. Um, they always ask you, what can I do for? No, not German people are not so 100% like this. So they always also look a little bit, where's my benefit? No?
Yeah.
Especially in compared to the US people, you know what I mean? So it's still fine in Germany. I think we are all over a friendly folk. But this, can I help you? What can I do for this group or for this association? And I want to be a part of it. What is my part? This is a American way. I think so. I don't know how in France it is, but
Probably the same way. The thing is also IDA is pretty new in Europe, right?
yeah,
And it is a network. That's like and today, if you look at it, it's an American network that needs to be internationalized. We're working on it, but the reality today is that it's an American network. So we need to build this network in Europe as well.
Agree.
Yeah, I'm agree also. Okay, so I think we have last 5-10 minutes. So the idea was to do more or less 1 hour. We don't talk about Corona, so but Corona.
One small thing about Corona. because we were talking about having John Hall from Clean and Shiny on the show.
Yeah.
And I've contacted John, and John has catched the coronavirus. He's been in the hospital for 1 day, but he's at home and he's recovering every day. So he sends out his love, and he loves to be on the show, but he don't want to bother us with his coughing. So I told him, when you're ready. So that's the thing I want to say about Corona, and I wish him all the best, and everybody who suffers from it, of course.
Yeah, of course, I wish him all the best and quickly healthy. And John Hall is now the first person I know who has the coronavirus.
Well, at least then you know one.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, but I want to hear, how is the situation? What is about your business? Is it still allowed to work for you? Can you ship products? How does it work in France? Because we here outside of, so in Germany, I don't know what you hear in Netherlands, Patrick, but in Germany, we hear everything is locked down. It's very difficult. Our partner, our Color Lock Center, who do the trainings in Strasbourg, is not allowed. Of course, for him, it's not allowed to do training. So it's really a worse situation for Christoph at the moment. And
right now in France.
Yeah, how's the situation, and how's the situation for detailers? How's your situation?
Right now in France, businesses are not allowed to have public, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a shop, you cannot work on. Not if you're selling some first necessity goods, but otherwise, if you're like if you have a detailing shop, physical shop, you're not allowed to work. But if you do not deal directly with public, you can still work. So that's the situation in France right now. So a lot of companies are still working. What we do here at ManiacAuto is that we limit the number of people coming at work to the minimum. Basically, everybody that can work from home does it, obviously. But we still have a very small team that is dealing with all the shipments. And the shipping companies, some of them at least, are still working. So yes, we are still working during this this crazy time.
Okay, so when I have a detailer shop and I don't have contact with my customer, so he brings a car, puts a key in a post box, and then it's fine. So I can, or
honestly, I don't know. I'm not a detailer. I don't have a detailing servicing company. I guess it's fine. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest. What we see is that we don't have. We see that we have way less orders from professional these days. So I guess it is, even if you're allowed to work, it's really like I guess your clients are canceling their appointments a lot. So professional users, professional detailers, are mostly out of business these days, even if they are, which I don't know, but even if they were able to work.
And what is about, they don't have income. So a lot of people in France have no income. How does it work? Do you?
It's quite hard for retailers.
The government is helping you, or?
Yeah, basically, if you have a company and you receive a salary from your company. If you cannot work anymore, the government will cover up for that. But when you're a detailer, you don't get a salary. Basically, when you are a detailer, it's your own company, and I don't see how you can be helped by the government right now. So yes, it is very problematic not to work for these days for detailers.
Okay. So when you employed in a company, in a bigger company, for example, and it's not allowed to work, there's the government cover up for 100%, or is it a
Yes,
lower
right now,
percentage?
yes.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good.
Basically, if you're a company and you cut your business by two, you can say half of my staff is unemployed temporarily,
Yeah.
and the government covers up 100%.
Okay.
You have
That's a good
to
situation.
you have to justify that business is actually down and the people are really not working,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
you get this. But I think something similar exists in Germany as well. Not 100% sure, but
No, when
Kurzarbeit.
Kurzarbeit is a
Yeah.
main word in Germany at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have this lucky situation that it's still allowed for us also to do business. Of course, the car industry, furniture houses, and all of this are closed, so we don't have any business from this area. And it's very different across the global, also very different inside of Europe. So we have some partners that's not allowed to work, so we don't have any orders from this countries, but we still is allowed to work, and the people can come here. You need 10% minus of turnover in compared to last year. Then you can ask the government for Kurzarbeit. Yeah, what means that you can send a few employees or all employees home, and they can stay home, and they will get, but they don't get 100%. They just get 60% when they are a single person, and 67% from the salary when they have kids.
Sorry, I made a mistake here. What I meant is when you are employed, you get 75% of your salary.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, I made a mistake here. But so your company pays for the 75%, but the company gets reimbursed by the states after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they get reimbursed 100% of it.
Yeah. So
that's fine.
Some companies do it in Germany like this, that they say, so a friend of mine is a teeth doctor, and he closed his company now because, you know, he has contact with, to be a teeth doctor with social distance. It doesn't work. No? So he said, okay, we close, we do this Kurzarbeit, and he sent all his stuff home, and the office is closed now, and he will pay the rest. So he has a lot of family people in his company, also employees who have family, so they get 67% from the government, and the rest he will cover for, so that they have in the end 100% for this time. So that is how it works at the moment. But for all these small businesses, all our customers who have the one-man shows, no, that is worse for them, because they can ask for one-time money, yeah, and they will get it very quickly. It's between something 5,000 and 15,000 euro. But good, that will help when your workshop is closed for maybe until 8 weeks. Yeah, 4 weeks until 8 weeks. But after this, so you really need a quick solution to come back to a normal business situation, I think. So
Right.
How does it work in the Netherlands?
Same story. A lot of people, especially the people that are in contact with people, the jobs that you have to be in contact with people, they are shut down. They are closed. Restaurants have closed, like with you. But what we hear within Europe is that we are not the people that can complain, because we still have some liberty where we can go out. I heard in Spain, children have to stay indoors. If you go to the grocery store, you have to go one person. That's also the same here in the Netherlands. If you go to a supermarket, you're only allowed to go in by yourself. But what I see, and that scares me a little bit, is that people, um, the way people react to a certain thing, So, and I'm like, what I was thinking about is that will this recover when this is over, So the social distancing and all that, because some of the people, they are really scared, So, and yeah, so we are still allowed to go out. We are still allowed to run our business, as long as we are not in contact with people. But uh, we try to do our best not to interfere, so not create a situation where people don't feel that good, So you have to keep an open mind in this, and have to know that some of the people, they are really scared and not knowing what's going on. So this is special for everybody. COVID-19 and the pandemic, this is something that nobody of us experienced before, So how cope with this and how long will it last? I know China now is getting back to normal all of a sudden. So maybe that is the crystal ball for us as well, that this hopefully will be over very soon, and people can get back to their normal lives. And hopefully if you have, because this is from a business owner's perspective, and I think you guys are on the same page. If you put everything into your business, and I'm not talking about money-wise, but time and everything, if you're losing your business in this period of time, normally you lose your business and you say, okay, maybe I made a stupid decision, but this is totally out of your hands.
Yeah.
People force you to shut down, and like you were saying, Lars, you can get a small bag of money, but will that last? Will that be sufficient to reopen? Because when you reopen, you need to be able to have customers that will come back to you. So even after all of this, I have to see what will happen and who will be there as well, So I wish everybody who was in that situation all the best, So, and I hope we stay away from that position, and we still can, and we are very thankful for that. But I know others can't, so yeah, I feel for them, and my thoughts go out for them. So that's my opinion, and that's my idea of looking at this situation. And yes, of course, we are worried at the moment about the US, because our main supply comes from there, and we get emails from manufacturers that they work on half the force of employees. So it can take longer, or in the worst case scenario, Europe is saying no more entry from US products, or the other way around, we won't export. So this is something I don't hope that will happen, but it's crossing your mind, if you know what I mean.
At this time, everything could be happen, and daily can come a new situation. We don't know where. Okay, yeah. So I think we are on the end. I know the first 50 minutes roundabout, I think, so was much more fun. That was also the idea. So thank you guys that we mostly talking about detailing, about the situation in France, how it is and how it works. Raphaël, thank you so much to be our first guest.
Thank you for having me.
I hope everybody enjoys this when they listen to the podcast, and that they're looking forward to more guests. And I also hope, Raphaël, that we can do this session in a few weeks again, when the situation is new and something coming new or whatever, and you have a date for us, hopefully, for the detailing show. And
sure, I hope so.
That we make it a bit more international next time also. And yeah, it was for me very, very interesting to hear how it works in France. It is a lot of things are similar, a lot of things are not similar, and yeah, that is what we want to talk about in this show. And yeah, I think, Raphaël, you can say something, and Patrick will have the last words. Okay?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I was really happy to take part in this first interview. I look forward to listening to the next. And I think it's a very good initiative to launch this and promote detailing across Europe to show what are the differences between the countries, and that's really what makes us evolve and grow, catch what works in other markets and replicate it in our own. I think that's what's most interesting about this business.
I agree. I totally agree. That's where the idea came from, of course. Lars, he kicked the ball, and we played with it, and we came up with this end idea. So I think that is awesome. And the idea with the podcast is that we have different people from the detailing industry that can be an expert in leather repair, an expert in sanding, an expert in. So we want to have all the expertise from different countries, and. So you are an expert in online selling because that's what you do well, and organizing an event. You've shown that as well. So still have to thank you for that, because that was an awesome show, and we were glad to be part of that. And yes, yeah, we're looking forward to the next show and having you on there as well in the future. And like Lars said, hopefully with better
pleasure.
news and a date. That would be awesome.
Great. Let's do this.
Okay.
So thank you guys, and enjoy Eastern.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.